Alrighty, so today what we're going to be making is a panini pressed bacon grease rub sandwich, and inside it, it's going to have an omelet with some vegetables, lots of greens, some bacon, as well as some extra spices. So today we're going to start off by marinating the bacon. We're going to want it to taste nice, so we're going to add a little bit of chili powder to give it a spicy kick. So we're going to add in some chili powder, not too much, because if we add in too much it'll taste really spicy, and that won't be good. Add in just a dab of water to help spread the spice. And then we're going to tenderize it and just press in those spices. Now if you have a thicker meat, usually what I like to do is take a knife or a fork and kind of stab in the spices. So we're going to let that sit for a while, and I'm going to go get a lemon so we can add in a nice sweet and sour kick. Okay, so we have our lemon, well it's actually lime, and we're going to squeeze in the juices, making sure that none of the seeds get into it. So we're going to put our hand there, make sure that no seeds escape. We're going to squeeze in all those juices to give it a nice sour and spicy kick.
Also, to that note, the lime is acidic, so it breaks down the meat that water or any other liquid can't do. So when marinating any meat, you always want to add some sort of acidity to it. Therefore, the marinade seeps into the meat more, giving it a much better flavor.
Okay, so we have our bacon nicely marinated, and the chili as well as the lime. So we're going to put it onto our baking tray. Okay, to make sure the flavor seeps in, we're just going to add some of that marinade. Put it onto the bacon. Now, to give it a nice sweet kick, what we're going to do is we're going to take some brown sugar and sprinkle it on.
The brown sugar adds to it, considering that you have the nice spicy flavor from the chili powder, and then you get a sweet flavor from the brown sugar.
And the sour flavor from the lime. So all together, it adds just a barrage of different flavors attacking your taste buds. So our bacon's ready to be put into the oven. What we have the oven set at is 325 on convex, so that way it cooks the bacon more thoroughly. We're going to let it crisp very nicely, so that way we can chop it up into small bits and it'll taste very nice in our omelet. So let's put this in the oven and get back to you when we're ready to saute the vegetables.
Alright, so here we have some tomato, 2 garlic cloves, half of a jalapeno, some onions, and about a nice handful of spinach. So, all of these vegetables later in the show are going to get sauteed and be the filling of our nice omelet. So you want to just give these veggies, the spinach right here, nice rough chop. Right there. And then you want to dice really everything else. You want to smash the garlic like that, so that the skin comes off easier. Kind of killed the garlic, but right there. And then do the same for the other one.
You want to be careful to hold the knife properly so you don't go and slam your hand on the blade.
I just want to give these things a quick dice so that they're not too chunky. You want every bite of the omelet to have a little bit of everything in it. That way you're not just getting the garlic and some bites and the bacon in one bite. That's why we're chopping the bacon up finely, so it's nice and small. That's a nice size. You want the garlic, maybe even a little smaller than that, but whatever you prefer. And you want to also dice up the tomato. I'm not that big of a tomato fan, so I'm just using like a quarter of a tomato. But of course, anything on this you could add to, give more of. It's just whatever you prefer, really.
Okay, that was the bacon telling us that it's done. So we can take that out after we're done sauteing this. Let the bacon crisp very nicely, so that way we can chop it up super fine. So we'll get back to you when we're ready to saute and begin the creation of the omelet. Okay, so we have our vegetables nicely diced up and the spinach chopped up as well. So we're going to start the saute. Now we're going to want to set the stove to about a low temperature, not too high, not too low, because we don't want to burn the vegetables. And a nice base of olive oil. Now we're going to be using salt, parsley, the vegetables, and a little bit of sugar. The sugar is there so that way it breaks through the onions. So we can just take all this and toss it in there. That sure smells really good. So we're gonna let that cook a little. We don't want to overcook it or else the leaves will fry up. So let's add just a tad bit of parsley just to give it some more flavor. Some salt. You don't want to add too much salt because the bacon already has a lot of salt, as you already know. And the sugar to break through the onions.
And you want to always stir it constantly so that the vegetables don't stick and don't burn to the pan. So
we're gonna let these saute, and then we can start the creation and the final formation of the omelet, and then continue on making the delicious sandwich.
Alright, so now we're going to start what we like to call the omelet. We're just going to use 1 egg, some salt, and some pepper. Real simple. Just crack your egg, put it in the bowl, beat it up. You're just going to add your dry ingredients. Now this sandwich that we're making works excellent as a breakfast sandwich. That's actually what I like to use it for the most. Because you have your vegetables in it, which is very key. You have your egg. You got some nice bacon in it. Just going to put in a little black pepper. So, see that right there. And then, if you don't have this type of shaker, probably like about quarter to half a teaspoon of salt.
Now if you wanted to, you could add more spices depending on how you want your omelet to taste, but we've found that we add all the spices in with the vegetables and on the bacon, so the eggs don't really need too much.
Alright, so we're just going to take it over to the stove. Alright, 1 sec. I'm just going to go grab some butter from the fridge. Oh, there it is. Up here, and you want to always butter your pan. So I'm just going to keep this at about like a low heat or so, right there. So now right now I'm just going to take a little butter, just rub it around like that, just like that. So it's nice and glazed up. Just gonna get pepper. This. Just add our yolk.
Now if you wanted to make this healthier, you could make it a simple egg white omelet, but we prefer to get a lot of meat on our eggs, so we use both the yolk and the whites.
Yeah, also the yolk has, I think, a higher protein content, so if you're looking to gain some weight, this is a great sandwich. So now you just let it sit like this, and when it starts to get more cooked, you just want to create some pockets by taking your spatula, just moving it like this, and then tilting your pan over so that the empty egg, the extra egg yolk, fills the fluids. So just like that.
If you wanted to, you could probably use scrambled eggs or any other type of egg, but we find that an omelet captures and holds the flavor a lot better.
Yes. And also, with the mixture, if you wanted, you can mix in the jalapenos in the thing, but we like to have the jalapenos raw and in the middle of the omelet rather than mixing it into the yolk mixture and cooking the jalapenos, because I personally like it spicy, and if you cook jalapenos, the spice reduces. Alright, so we will get right back to you once this omelet is cooked up and we start adding the bacon and vegetables to the middle. Alright, so we've just flipped our omelet. It's a little lopsided, but it'll do. We're just going to add some of our bacon to one half of it, and some of our veggies. I'm going to move that to the half. We're just going to move that to like this side of it.
You want to keep all your vegetables and bacon on one side, so that way you can flip over the egg, making it an actual omelet.
Yeah, and cheese is also really good in this omelet, which we will put on the sandwich itself when we're layering it on, but it would be just as good putting the cheese in right now, so it's nice and melty. So there we go, the omelet's nice and golden brown. You get a nice taste from the pepper, if you could see, little flakes. I like to use 2 spatulas just in case I don't screw up.
Okay, so our omelet is pretty much done cooking, and right now we have our bread soaking in the bacon grease, so that way it absorbs the extra flavor and the deliciousness. And after we're done, we can go assemble our sandwich and panini press it. Then we can chow down and enjoy this delicious meal.
If actually you do not have a panini press, a frying pan is perfectly fine, just to get a nice sear and a golden brown onto your bread. Alright, so we'll get right back to you once this omelet is done, and we're going to panini press our sandwich. We'll be right back.
Okay, so we have all our omelet and the cheeses and the bread that's been soaking in the bacon grease, and we have it all ready. The panini press has been heating up, so as you can see, it's starting to cook the bottom. And as the bacon and the omelet and the cheeses all form together, and they smell really, really good. It's making me hungry right now. So as you can see, the sandwich is a little tall, but the panini press takes care of that, just smushing it down to a nice size. So we're going to let that cook for a little while so it sears the edges of the bread, and that way it'll taste a lot better. And with all the components in the sandwich, we're going to just have it set up with some pickles and chips, and we'll be ready to eat it.
Also, Thomas, the great cheese that you can use whatever types of cheese you want that you love. Preferably cheese that melts, because I love gooey cheese, and whatever you want. Except, I just feel the only cheese that doesn't work well with the sandwich is a blue cheese, because it's quite overpowering and it can take over some of the other flavors.
Okay, now look at that nice, delicious searing. Look how brown and just delicious that looks. And you can see that some of the cheese has started to seep through the bread, and that is going to make this sandwich taste 10 times better.
Okay, we're going to get right back to you with the final result of this great sandwich. And this is the final result of our delectable breakfast sandwich. I mean, look at that. You got the nice sear from the panini press, and the little garnish on top is some extra sauteed vegetables that we have. We have it with a nice some pickles, chips. Alright, so if you want to zoom up to me close and watch this. Absolutely heavenly. By far one of the best sandwiches I've ever eaten in my life. Wow.
Let me try. Oh, wow. That smells really good.
Show them that. Look at this.
Look at that. That's just so good.
You got the egg, you got the vegetables, you got the cheese. Long bite.
And all the flavors, they don't contradict one another. They all work together in sweet harmony. Making it so good. Alright, well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to see more, don't forget to go subscribe, and we'll have more videos weekly. So, if you want more delicious recipes like this, go check out our channel, and be sure to stay up to date. We'll see you next episode.
And remember, food that is good.